Good evening, Sierra here with Source Talk Studio, Money, Mindset, and Mastery. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm here to talk to you today about another great wealth building strategy called the Single Mom's Side Hustle Done Right. Wealth strategies are built on the assumption that this is stable income. This assumption fails for the single moms out here, because W-2 income is not always stable for the single mother household. Single income households experience income concentration risk. Income concentration risk. What is that, Sierra? What is income concentration risk? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Let me share it with you. Income concentration risk is when one employer controls cash flow. One employer controls your benefits. One employer controls all of your scheduling, all of your flexibility, and all of your healthcare access. That is concentration. Here's the issue with having only one source of income. When a disruption occurs, if there's a layoff, reduced hours, or even a hostile environment, you just have a boss that just ain't right. The financial impact is immediate. And if we're going to talk about risk, we need to talk about ourselves like we are a business. One thing you have to do as a single mom is you have to see yourself as the CEO of your household. If you are the CEO of your household, you need to understand structural exposure, because having all of your, as my mom would put it, eggs in one basket is a huge faux pas. For this reason, diversified income must be treated as a wealth strategy and not as supplemental income. Before I go any further, I have to issue this disclosure. This content is for educational purposes only, and it does not constitute financial tax or legal advice. Strategies discussed here are general in nature and may not be appropriate for your specific situation. You should always consult a professional before making financial decisions. Go to my website. If you have any questions answered, we can help you with that as well. However, I must use that disclaimer in this environment so that you do not sue me. All right, let's move on, okay? Let's do the math, because you know I like to do the math, because if the math ain't mathy. So let's look at the case study. You got a single mother. She has 2 children. She's on a W-2 net income, and she's making $6,000 a month, okay? So that's pretty basic. Now, in this scenario A, she's on W-2 and her income concentration is 100%, meaning all of her income is coming from one source. She has a job disruption for about 30 days, and now she's got about $6,000 in income, negative $6,000. She has no income. She has all of her fixed obligations that have not changed. Earlier, there's nothing else for me to put up. I won't have a display for this one because there's nothing for me to put up. She makes $6,000 income. The $6,000 in income is gone, and now she's cooked. Okay, let's move on. In scenario B, same single mom, same 2 kids, and she has W-2 income, plus she has layered income of $800 a month. And now we're using $800 a month because my book is called The $800 Strategy. And in all of these different scenarios, we're showing you how something as little as $800 can change everything. It sounds like a small number, but if you can see where something as small as $800 can change everything, imagine doing this with the multiples. Okay, so $800 is layered income. So she has her W-2 for $6,000 and her side hustle income is $800, which is all predictable income. Her income concentration now has changed. It's 88% in her W-2 income and 12% in her diversified side hustle income. The impact is the monthly shortfall is reduced by 13%. Her emergency draw delayed or avoided, and her decision window extended by 2 to 4 weeks. She has also avoided asset liquidation. Now let's just have a really quick conversation here. Different budget gurus, David Ramsey will tell you quickly, and he's a really great source, but he will quickly tell you that you should have $1,000 in your emergency fund. $1,000 in your emergency fund. You're a single mom. You have 2 kids. And every week you got to put money on their books so that they can eat lunch. Otherwise, your kids will be eating peanut butter sandwiches in the cafeteria out of a brown bag in front of all of their friends. I'm just saying, because they'll do it to your kids. They'll give your kids a brown bag and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and say, well, your mama hasn't put any money on your books. So I love the $1,000 strategy. However, you got $1,000 in your emergency fund, you lose $6,000 in income, you've been out of work for 30 days, and now you have what? A net $5,000? That is not going to do it. And let me offer one last piece of this. You've been side hustling and you've been saving up $800 a month, and nothing has happened in the entire time. And now the end of the year has come, and you have $9,600 saved up in a high yield savings account. And you're like, Sierra, shouldn't I be investing this money? Shouldn't I be doing something with this money? Yes. The end of the year is coming, and you have a little bit of money saved up. The first portion of this needs to remain liquid, because this is going to actively sustain and actively anchor your stability. And it's just going to change the way you think, the way you move at work. You're a different person when you're not broke, I promise you. The second, it's going to guarantee that your losses are reduced. Like if you have a lot of credit card debt and things like that, let's get that knocked out. You can layer the side hustle strategy to stabilize your income in case of unpredictable situations. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you enjoy the content, single mother millionaires, and I would love for someone to build a whole community around it, calling it the Single Moms Millionaire Clubs. I would love to hear about your results in the comments.